Hi, it's Jodie and welcome to another video. So today I finally have a wrap up for you guys. So I actually did film a wrap up for January, but I never edited it and uploaded it, so we're just going to forget that that even existed. But what I am going to do is I'm going to show you guys my February wrap up today, and then at the end I will quickly go through my January wrap up. So I think I have 22 books to talk about, which is kind of good for me. So I did actually read 12 books in February, which is absolutely amazing for me. I'm so happy with that, and a lot of these were like kind of chunky books. Well, not chunky, but they were biggish, and they did also include some rereads, which I really enjoyed. So yes, but before I get into the video, I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsor for today's video, Skillshare. So if you didn't know, Skillshare is an online learning community for creators, and they literally have thousands of different classes on a whole range of different topics. It's a place where you can learn new skills, develop existing skills, try something new, and learn lots of new things. And the more that I use this website, the more I fall in love with it, because it is just so easy to use and just such a fun experience. So I've been mostly doing the journaling and photography classes. I really enjoy those, but a class that I have found really helpful recently, and one that I'm really enjoying, is the Product Photography Style and Shoot Creative Stills by Rachel Galotta and Daniel Inskeep, and they are actually from a photography YouTube channel called Mango Street. If you guys haven't seen their YouTube, it is so good. Anyway, I've learned so many new skills from them already. I have a Bookstagram account where I'm constantly taking photos of books, obviously, and I've been using their classes to get some new like tips and things. I definitely do feel like I'm going to be able to improve my content now, especially with my Bookstagram. But yes, if you are someone who does Bookstagram yourself, or you have an Etsy or something and you take photos of products, I would highly recommend this class. It's very useful. But I think the most important thing is the fact that Skillshare is literally all about learning, so you don't have to worry about getting distracted by ads or anything of the sort. There's always new premium classes being launched all of the time, which is amazing, by so many incredible creators. So there's always something new to learn, and it's really affordable as well, because it is less than $10 a month with an annual subscription, and this will gain you access to thousands of different classes by so many different creators. And Skillshare have kindly given me a link for you guys again. So the first 1,000 subscribers who click the link in my description box will get a free trial of a premium membership, so you can explore your creativity. So yes, thank you so much, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video. But yes, let's get into the wrap up. So if you would like to see the 12 books that I read in February along with the books that I read in January, then please keep watching this video. So as usual, I'm not going to go in particular order. I'm just going to grab the books and talk about them. But I do want to show you this stack first, because this is impressive in my opinion. Like, this is such a good month for me reading wise. Like, I'm very happy. So here is the book stack. I managed to read all of these in February, and I'm pretty happy because for the last week of February didn't do any reading, so this is good for me. I am impressed at myself. Does that make sense? At myself? By myself? Who knows what I'm trying to say. I think you get what I mean. Very big start. So the first book is Black Flamingo, and this is by Dean Atta. Now this is actually written in verse. I absolutely adored this book. I thought I would like it and enjoy it, but I did not expect to love it. Like, I just absolutely loved it so much. I actually flew through this in one sitting. I picked this up during a readathon for Queer No Fear. I stayed up till 4 AM reading it in one go because it was just so good. It was wonderfully written. I loved how we saw the character grow up and all the different things they faced. I love the metaphors in here, just everything. It was such a beautiful book. If you're looking for a book written in verse, or you've been thinking about this, highly recommend. 5 stars. It's honestly incredible. Then next we actually have another book that's written in verse, and this isn't intentional. I didn't have this on my TBR, didn't plan to read it, but I ended up listening to the audiobook for this, and I really enjoyed it. I think I gave this 3 stars in the end. This is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. This one I really enjoyed. 3 stars is still a good rating for me. It means I really enjoyed it. I just kind of thought the sisters in the story would meet sooner than they did, and towards the end I just feel like I kind of struggled a bit, and like it wasn't quite clear which sister was which, like with the dialogue. And yeah, I feel like it started off really strong but didn't quite end that way. So that's the reason that I gave it 3 stars, but I still really enjoyed this. It's a fantastic book. I love Elizabeth Acevedo's writing. I just think this is just a really amazing story, and I listened to it on audio because a lot of people have recommended listening to the audiobooks because the author does self-narrate them, and the audiobook was really good to listen to, so I would recommend the audiobook. But yeah, I give this one 3 stars. Then next we have one that I read for a readathon, and this is Fierce Fairy Tales by Nikita Gill. I think there's like poems, sonnets, and like kind of stories in here. So this is just all feminist fairy tales kind of, and I just really enjoyed them. I loved Nikita Gill's poems and just like the way she kind of changed some like well-loved fairy tales that we know and kind of rewrote them in her own way. Like I just really love that. The illustrations in here are also really, really beautiful. I can't remember the rating that I gave this. I would guess 4 stars. It was either 3.5, 4 or 5. Like, I know that sounds bad, but I honestly can't remember. Like, I really can't remember. February felt like a very long month. But I know that I did really love this, and I know that I really loved a lot of the poems in here. There was some that I went too fussed on, but overall this was just really, really nice to read. It's just a really beautiful book to read and a really easy read. Really did enjoy this one. Then next we have a manga, which I really loved. So this is Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. So I'm pretty sure I read this in February. Was it February or could it have been January? This might have been read in January actually. Did I sneak this into the wrong month? I don't know, but we're gonna go with it. I read this in either January or February and I loved it. I really like the anime. I started watching it. It's just really, really good. It's about ghouls. It's got that horror vibe to it. I like the characters. I like the art style. I'm pretty sure I don't need to go into too much more about this because I feel like if you guys read manga then you probably know what this is. But yes, I really enjoyed this and I'm pretty sure I gave it 5 stars. But it could have been a 4. Who knows at this point. Then next we have another manga, and I love this, and I know I gave this one 5 stars, and I'm so glad because I wasn't sure whether or not I'd actually end up liking this author's work, but I'm glad that I do. So this is a horror manga. I read this in my 24-hour readathon. I'll have it linked down below. But this is Junji Ito's Venus in the Blind Spot. So this is a collection of several stories that are all like horror manga basically. They're all super weird, super creepy, and just amazing. Like, they are brilliant and I absolutely love them, and I'm still shocked because they are very weird, and like I said, I didn't know if I would actually like them or not, but I do. I love this. This is just so good. I read it in one sitting. I love the art style. I love the quirky like stories and the creepiness, and yeah, just all the stars. I'm so excited to read some more of Junji Ito's work. I really hope I enjoy his other stuff, but this was just such a fun reading experience, and I liked reading the different stories as well. So yes, I would also recommend this. So these next books I'm actually going to talk about in one go because they are all rereads from a series which you all know I love. So you guys have probably already seen that I did a vlog series rereading the A Court of Thorns and Roses books. So if you have not watched those vlogs, I will have them linked in the description box. Although if you have not read all of these books here, then do not watch them because there are spoilers for each book in all of the vlogs, so don't watch them if you don't want to be spoiled. But yes, I reread this whole series and it holds such a special place in my heart, and every single time I reread this series I just fall in love with it even more, and I really did forget how beautiful and emotional and amazing Akawara is. Like, I really forgot. Obviously I'm talking about the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, which I have here. So I did tab and annotate these, as you can see, quite a lot. Yeah, I used a lot of sticky tabs. So yes, I did read these and I just love them. 5 stars for every single one. Like, I honestly love this series so much, and I love these characters, and like I said, Akawara is more of like a battle war themed book, but for me there's so many important themes of like family, overcoming traumas, working together, and just so many different dynamics between characters that I just love. So many new things and little layers are revealed for the characters in this series, and I just love that. And it just, yeah, the amount of times I cried while reading this book, like, it was just unreal. Like, it makes me cry so much. Like, Akamath is my all-time favourite, but A Court of Wings and Ruin just really gets me every time. It makes me so emotional. I do think it's an amazing book. I think it's a really good like conclusion book to like the trilogy as is. Obviously there's Akamath and other books coming out, but like to this like particular story, I do feel like it concludes really, really well, and I absolutely adore it. So yes, I did obviously give 5 stars to all of these beautiful books. I will never stop loving them. I already have a book hangover and immediately want to reread them. But I have A Court of Silver Flames to read, which I'm excited about, which I was supposed to read in February, but that's a different story for a different time. So yes, love these, all of the stars. If you have not read this series, please go and read it. Even if you read the first book and you're like, this is cringy, not my vibe, please stick with it. Akamath is a masterpiece, and if you don't like Akamath, I will personally give you a refund because that book is just stunning. Like, oh, I love it so much. And then the last 3 books that I read in February are graphic novels. So for Queer No Fear, I read volumes 1 and 2 of Wicked and the Divine. I did speak about them in that vlog, which I will also have linked down below. I believe I gave each of these 3 stars. I really enjoyed the art style. I liked the kind of uniqueness of this story, and the plot is really interesting. I did like it. It was just, I found these quite hard to follow at times, and I don't really feel like the world building was very well developed, which is why I only gave it 3 stars, but I did still really enjoy them. I'm still excited to continue with the series. I do have volume 3 that one of you guys kindly sent me, which I'm very, very excited to read. But yes, I gave these 3 stars and did really enjoy them, and like I said, the art in here is really nice. And then lastly, I have Saga volume 1. I gave this 4 stars, I think. This was really, really fun. It's a really cool like sci-fi graphic novel. Again, art style's cool, the characters are really cool, the world is so interesting, and yeah, I just really, really enjoyed this. I'm excited to continue with the series. It just wasn't quite 5 stars for me. So that does conclude all of the books that I did read in February. I feel like it was a very, very good reading month, and I'm really, really happy with what I did manage to read. But now I will quickly go into January's books. If you are interested, please continue watching. I think I read 10 or 11 because I don't know if Tokyo Ghoul was maybe a January read. I think it might be. But this is my stack for January. So January was also a very good reading month. I'm just going to talk about them real quick, not in any real detail because I don't want this to be too long. But I read From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. I think originally I gave this a 5-star rating, but I would in fact bump it down to a 4 or 4.5 just because, having thought about it, it's not quite 5 stars. I feel like this took quite a while to pick up. It took 200 pages until the plot got going for me, and I was like, right, okay, this is really good now. And I just feel like 200 pages is a bit too info dumpy and a bit too long to be building the world. But again, that's just like my opinion, and like, it is a long book, but I flew through this. I think it's such a good book. I'm so excited for the sequel and the 3rd book coming out soon. I really loved Poppy and Hawk. I loved the kind of romance and the smut, although I thought I was going to be getting a lot more smut than that, but that snow scene was just, yeah, let's not talk about it. That's all I'm gonna say. But yes, this was a really, really good book. If you like vampires and want something that's got a cool like spin on vampires, you want a bit of romance, a bit of fantasy, then I would recommend this book. It is a really good fantasy book. It was just a bit too info dumpy at the start for me, but still amazing. I loved the romance, I loved the world, I loved the characters. I just thought it was really, really good. So yes, I'm gonna say 4 stars for this one. And next we have one that I think I gave 2.5 stars, which is The Near Witch by Victoria Schwab. So this is actually her first book according to the inside of this dust jacket, so her like debut, and you can definitely tell my opinion, although I must disclaim the fact that I have only read Addie LaRue, so obviously I don't have a lot to compare to, but I loved Addie LaRue. I thought her writing and that was beautiful. It was so lyrical, and there were elements of that in The Near Witch, and this did have those atmospheric kind of vibes that I thought it would have. Like, I give it that. I just feel like there wasn't really much of a plot to this. The magic really didn't make sense to me. The characters were a bit bland, like there was not really essence to them, but I still did enjoy it. Like, it was still fun to read. It just wasn't anything I was like desperate to pick up and continue reading, which is why I've given it 2.5 stars. But I mean, if you like something atmospheric, a little bit creepy, and like maybe just something a bit unique, then I would still recommend this because it is short and it's still a nice, enjoyable read. Then next we have this book, which I think I gave 2 stars. So this is by Tim Burton, and this is The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories. And I gave it 2 stars. Really love the illustrations in here. I like some of the stories, but some of them were just a little bit too uncomfortable for me. Like, they weren't the kind of creepy that I like, or kind of weird, like in a good way. They were just not really for me. They just made me uncomfortable. I just thought it was a bit like something isn't right there. I don't know, it gave me weird vibes. So yes, I gave this 2 stars, and yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this. Strange one. Then next we do have some graphic novels, so I'm going to talk about these really quick. So we have Black Canary Ignite by Meg Carrot, and this, is it Carrot? Oh, not Meg Carrot. Meg Cabot, and this one I gave 3 stars. This was just a really fun read. It just wasn't anything amazing. It follows Black Canary's kind of daughter discovering that she's a Black Canary, and I liked it. These are obviously intended for like younger readers and young adults. This just felt a little bit too immature for my liking. I don't know, like I really enjoyed it still. I love the colour scheme and the art style was amazing in this. It just wasn't anything amazing, so I gave it 3 stars. Then we have another DC Ink one, which is Teen Titans Beast Boy by Cami Garcia. So I gave this 5 stars. I love this. I just thought the story was so fun. Like I just absolutely loved it. Again, another cool art style. The aesthetic for all of these is really cool. They tend to stick to certain like colours and tones, which I like. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Gave it 5 stars. Absolutely loved it. Such a fun character, such a fun story. I'm really well, like, I don't know what I'm looking for. Just displayed, portrayed, I don't know. It was really good. 5 stars. Then we have the Sad Ghost Club by Liz Meddings. So I actually really love this. 5 stars. This has a lot of mental health rep. It was very relatable for me. It was the perfect thing for me to pick up at the time because I was feeling really rubbish, and this just kind of reminded me like the bad days don't last forever and that I'm not alone. There are other sad ghosts out there, and I love that metaphor as well with the sad ghost. It was just really wholesome, and I just absolutely adored this. I just think it's really nice. The illustrations are so simple and it just has a really nice message, and I would recommend this if you're someone who's maybe struggling a bit with their mental health, or maybe is feeling a bit lonely, or just like in the lockdown is struggling. Maybe read this, because for me I really did connect with this. But obviously it does talk about mental health, so if you do not want to read about mental health then obviously don't read this. But I really loved it. It was very wholesome, and 5 stars. Then next we have another reread. So this is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J Maas. 5 stars, of course. I read this for Togalong, which I am a co-host of. We read Assassin's Blade in January and then Throne of Glass in February, although I did not finish Throne of Glass in February for personal reasons, but I am going to finish it in early March. But yes, anyways, I read Assassin's Blade in January. 5 stars. I loved revisiting this book. I'd never reread it before, and I definitely noticed a lot of new bits of information during my reread, which I loved. We did discuss this in the live show. I think it might be up on Steph's channel if you guys want to go and watch it. But yeah, I really loved this. It was so good, and yeah, you guys know that it was going to be 5 stars, and I love this because it's Sarah J Maas. And I love this series. If you haven't read the series, go and do it. I'd recommend starting with this book because it sets up the start of the series perfectly. Then we have another graphic novel, which is Blackbird by Sam Humphries. I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely love the art in here. It's absolutely stunning, and I really like the characters. I like the world. I like the story. I just loved everything. I need volume 2 immediately. Sam Humphries, if you're watching, please give me volume 2. I need it in my life. And then another one that I did really love was this one by Neil Gaiman. So this is Snow Glass Apples, and this is a reimagining of Snow White, and this was absolutely amazing. I would absolutely recommend this if you're looking for a really cool graphic novel that has amazing art and illustrations, has a really cool story. If you like fairy tales or dark twisted reimaginings of fairy tales, definitely pick this one up. I really did love it. I did give it 4 stars, or maybe it was 4.5, but that's because I just didn't like the ending. It was very unjust, but the unique spin on Snow White was just so well done, so clever. Absolutely loved it. This has got vampire vibes as well, so if you like vampy stuff, check this out. Absolutely amazing, and I just love Neil Gaiman's reimaginings, and I want more graphic novels like this. And then we have another Neil Gaiman book, which is another dark twisted retelling of Hansel and Gretel, and I really enjoyed this. Not much to say about this because it literally is just a bit of a darker version of Hansel and Gretel. Really cool. The dark art in here is amazing as well, and I would recommend this. I believe I gave this 5 stars also, and I just really like Neil Gaiman's like dark twisted takes on fairy tales, so yeah, would recommend. Okay, hi, so as you can see I have pink hair in this clip and I'm not in the same clothes. But again, I forgot to film my creator spotlight segment, so here we are. Creator I have chosen for today's video is Natalie Reads. I just really enjoy her content. Her content is just like so calming. I love the vibe and like the aesthetic, and I just love her videos in general, and I definitely do think that you guys would really enjoy her content. So I will have her channel linked down below. You can go and subscribe if you'd like to, because I just think her videos are just so well done and they're just really chill, and I really like that. It will be linked in the description box down below, and I'm going now. Well, that does conclude all of the books that I read both in January and February, so I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. I'm sorry it's probably very, very long. If you have read any of these books yourself, please do let me know your thoughts in the comments, because like I always say, I love talking to you guys about them. I love hearing other people's opinions and just discussing them, and it's just really fun. I feel like I've had a really good start to the reading year and I'm very, very happy about it, and I hope I can continue that throughout March. March TBR is already up if you guys would like to go and watch that. I will have it linked in the description box along with everything else I've talked about. You can find my Bookstagram, my Twitter, my Goodreads all linked in the description box as well, along with the link to get your free trial of Skillshare Premium. Don't forget to click that. It will also be pinned in the comments. I would highly recommend Skillshare. I really do think that in lockdown you guys would enjoy it, and it is just something that I'm just finding very, very helpful to get me through the lockdown, so I would recommend it, and I'm just very grateful to Skillshare for giving me the link to share with you guys. But yes, if you did enjoy this video, please do give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out and I appreciate it, and leave a comment if you can. If you're new here, please subscribe. I upload twice a week. I post weekly reading sprints as well, which I'm sure you do not want to miss. And yeah, I hope you're all safe and well. I hope you're reading lots of good books, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!